Cape Leeuwin is the most southwesterly point of Australia. It has the home of the most beautiful Leeuwin Lighthouse, which is the tallest lighthouse on the mainland. And also it is where the two oceans meet. We've got the Indian Ocean, the Southern Ocean, which the rest of the world calls the Antarctic Ocean. The Leeuwin Lighthouse is run by AMSA, and we are very fortunate for them to let us use it between 9 and 5 every day. And we entertain and give lots of tourists lots of experiences up and around the precinct of the lighthouse. Being the tallest is very, very special because the other two that are taller are on islands, so they're inaccessible to the general public. This is very accessible. There's a drive all the way up to the gate. But it's a very special lighthouse too, especially the people that work here, and as all the people that come to visit as well. There are 23 shipwrecks out there that we know of in a 7-kilometre granite reef. 22 of those shipwrecks happened before the lighthouse was built. So there has only been one shipwreck at this site in the reef since the lighthouse was built. Her name was the Pericles. Now, she was coming around the Cape in 1910. She happened to be a sister ship of the Titanic. She was half the size, and her captain was due to retire. So this was a tour of duty, last tour of duty, and he wanted to show everybody the beautiful Leeuwin Lighthouse. So he cut the corner a fraction, he hit an uncharted rock, and within 2.5 hours the Pericles had sunk. Now, miraculously, 463 people on board survived, and that's due to three very, very important facts. Number one is that it was calm, because more often than not, it's not calm here at Cape Leeuwin. Number two is that Captain Simpson called for everybody to get to the lifeboats immediately, and unlike the Titanic, there was more than enough lifeboats. And he and his crew personally went to every cabin to make sure the ship was empty. And the third reason was because of the lighthouse keeper. He knew that in the darkness, if the lifeboats went west, there is nowhere to land. So he organised fires on the beach, and that guided the lifeboats to safety. So happy ever after. It's fully operational. AMSA have monitors. They can tell 24 hours a day what's happening in the lighthouse. They can rectify a problem. There is plenty of within 2 hours. There are plenty of backups. There's a spare globe, there are batteries, there is a spare motor, but it is a pretty foolproof system. As guides here can tell you, very little does go wrong. So no, it's a beautiful system. When you get to the top floor where the balcony is, you can actually see the crystals moving. Now, in the olden days, up until 1982, the old Clockwork System was in use, and that was like a huge grandfather clock. The lighthouse keeper would turn a crank handle for about 20 minutes to get the weight up, and that would start the crystals activated. He would have also cleaned the jets, lit the mantles, and there were 3 mantles, and it was run on kerosene up until 1982 also. The crystals were hand cut by Chance Brothers in Birmingham in England, and they cut every crystal in every lighthouse in Australia except for Byron Bay. That's a French lighthouse, and the signature of Leeuwin Lighthouse is 7.5 seconds per flash. So there's one rotation, there are 2 opposing sets of crystals, so one flash every 7.5 seconds. Now, there is a lighthouse in South Africa with the same signature, but most ships know what continent they're sailing around.